Hello everyone, back to tuning in to today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's third video. So day 10 is going to take us to the 15th of December. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We say GFS and ECM ensembles later around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, which gets us pretty much to the new year. So I shall get on that for you in a second. Just say that first video release was our 7 AM upload. We've also released our latest Christmas update. That's update number 15 for Christmas. So have a look at that one. And they're going to be live streaming tonight from 6 PM. We'll have a chat about the winter forecast, I would assume, because we have not met, since we released the GavsWeatherVids winter forecast on Thursday evening. We premiered that on Thursday evening, so we'll have a chat about it. I'm sure you'll have some questions and whatnot. We'll have a look at 12Z as well. May do a little bit of ensembles watching, and that will become the focus of the Sunday live streams from next week. In particular, we'll start doing ensembles watch live, I think, every Sunday from next week. But we'll have a look at a few of those ensembles, and just generally hang out for an hour. It's going to be great. That'll be coming up from 6 o'clock. Of course, we've finished with the long-range stuff for the time being, so we're just doing regular uploads, on a Sunday until the new year, and then in January we'll bring back GavsWeatherVids Sunday Roundup. GavsWeatherVids Sunday Roundup will return for another run in the new year. Right, thank you so much, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, and thanks so much. Right, okay, so let's crack on with this 10 to 14 day event, shall we? So we're going to start off by having a look at the central temperature. The CT is currently standing at 5.2, which is normally of around average. It's 0.1 of a degree above average, basically bang on 61 to 90 average, provisional to yesterday to the 4th of December. And, very, very close to average, which is a little bit different over the past few years because it tend to be quite mild through the earlier part of the winter over the past several winters. I think 2017 is an exception, but other than that, most of the winters have started off on a relatively mild note over recent years, most notably, of course, 2019-20 with PB of Doom winter. So, it's a little bit cooler as we begin this winter of 2020-2022. And we've got more cool weather to come. So that's probably going to drop under 5 degrees, actually, that same temperature over the next few days, I would have thought. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. So we're looking at London today. Red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London. And we're starting off below average at the moment with those upper air temperatures. They're quite cold at the moment and will continue to be so. A little bit up and down, but generally below average until around like the 12th or the 13th of December, by which time we start to lift the upper air temperatures up and go into a rather milder spell, then perhaps around the middle part of December and into the third week of the month, beginning to run up towards Christmas. By the time we get through to the very end of the ensemble, which gets us to around 21st of December now, 22nd, something like that, we might be starting to see a few colder members beginning to appear in a little bit of a decline. But of course, that's very, very, very extended range and is therefore unreliable. So what we can say is that like the first week, week 1, the coming week going to be quite cold. Week 2 looks milder. Not necessarily as straightforward as that, however. This pushing temperature is also associated with a drying trend. So over the next week or so, it could be very unsettled. So cold, cool, unsettled, quite wet. Could be some snow, times particularly over high ground. Then we go into a drying trend after mid-month as the temperature is lifting up. So that tells us that we're probably seeing more of an anticyclonic influence, which means that despite the upper air temperatures lifting up, it's not quite as straightforward as that in terms of whether we actually turn milder or not, or particularly milder. So this is the ensemble graph for sea level pressure, and you can see we've got relatively low pressure coming up over the next over the next week or so, particularly there. That's a storm we've got coming up on Tuesday. But there is a trend to lift pressure up as we go through the middle part of December to the second half of the month, going to between around 1,020 and 1,040 millibars on most of these ensemble members in the extended range. I've got a few outlier ones down here that keep low pressure down. But it looks like the general trend is towards higher pressure. Now, the temperatures are interesting. The temperature graph is interesting. So, starting off quite cold over the next week, as we've already explained, even with the risk of some overnight frost. There is a warming trend that's going on as we go beyond that, lifting the temperature up to between 8 and 10 degrees as we go into the middle part of December. But there is a lot of scattering there, I have to say. So, these ensemble members up here are relatively mild. They're going above 10 degrees. But we've got a lot of ensemble members actually down here that are keeping things pretty cold. Remember, this is all being associated with high pressure. So the exact parameters of the high pressure does determine on whether it's a mild high at this time of year or whether it's a cold high. You do have to look, in winter particularly, you do have to look beyond the upper air temperatures. We do also see that there is a little bit of a cooling trend in any case. So although it does lift up generally around here a bit temperature, there is a cooling trend as we approach the run up towards Christmas that's going on. So quite cold to start, milder around there, but with a lot of scatter, and then trending a bit colder for the run up towards Christmas. Temperature anomalies on the 5th through to the 13th of December are coming out colder and average, still very cold across much of Scandinavia and northeastern Europe. Precipitation anomalies average to a little bit wetter than average, dry over Scandinavia. That's a Scandinavian high, of course, that's lurking to the northeast, or will be in the next week. Latest wind from that from earthnullschool.net shows that we're bringing in quite cold east to northeasterly winds today. So you see the wind pulling in from the east there, particularly to these eastern parts of the country. Pretty cold and dank over in the east today. Well, look at this chart that the UK Met Euro is showing for midnight on Wednesday. Pretty horrendous chart. Great big dartboard sitting right over top of the country. Central pressure of that is around 965 millibars, so very, very low pressure. Gale force winds are wrapped around that area of low pressure, and bouts of very wet weather as well. That unsettled weather carries on into Thursday, and then more low pressure comes in towards the end of next week. Again, the jet stream lining up northwest southeast, so it's not going to be mild. It will actually be quite cold, and probably cold enough for some wintry weather over the high ground up in the north. By the time you get through to the end of the UK Met Euro, which gets us this time next week, midnight Sunday next week, 12th of December, the low pressure is a little bit further north, so we're bringing in a rather milder westerly flow band. Still very unsettled though, with bouts of rain coming in from off the Atlantic. This is how the GFS midnight run was looking. So again, it looks really bad there as we go from Tuesday into Wednesday. Severe gale force winds with that great big dartboard area of low pressure. Low pressure then sort of slipping away to the south. High pressure builds over Scandinavia. Through Thursday, winds go into a not particularly cold EC, but it certainly won't be all that mild. And then we go through to the end of next week. Low pressure coming up against that Scandinavian high. Bit of a battle going on through the end of next week. It looks like Scandinavian high is more or less winning the battle up to Saturday as that low pressure sort of stalls and slips away to our south. The Scandinavian high goes up to 1,040 millibars there by Sunday next week, 12th of December. That is a big high pressure over Scandinavia. Still a lot of energy in the Atlantic, though, keeping that Scandinavian high from truly getting going and getting the wind into the east. But nevertheless, 1,040 millibars is a big high pressure over Scandinavia. And look at that, we get through to Monday the 13th of December. And it's like a Western Russia to Scandinavian high that got there. And we're up to 1,045 millibars with that area of high pressure. We are very, very close at this point to the Scandinavian / Russian / Siberian high taking over and really getting the wind properly into the east. We're very, very close to it at that point, but it just doesn't quite happen. Still too much energy in the Atlantic. So as we get through to day 10, what we find is that we have high pressure to our south, ridging towards this Russian high, and we're actually relatively mild then, bringing the wind from a southwesterly direction. But it's a very long way off in this kind of pattern when you've got 1,040 to 1,045 millibar area of high pressure towards Western Russia and Scandinavia at around day 8, day 9. That is a very, very, very long way off in this kind of pattern. Anyway, we get through beyond day 10 and we build up this large area of high pressure then right over top of the country. So obviously that's, as we see, pressure's rising around the middle part of the month. Upper air temperatures will be relatively mild with that. Underneath the high, depending on the parameters of the high, it could be quite cold though with frost unfolding at the very end of the GFS midnight run. Look where the high pressure is going. It's beginning to try and retrogress up towards Greenland, and that looks poised. That's the 21st of December. Looks poised, doesn't it? If you take high pressure further north, it looks poised to drop this low in the Norwegian Sea south and pull in a very cold northerly wind, perhaps for Christmas or just before Christmas. So, I mean, that's over 2 weeks away. It's very unreliable, but that does look a little bit poised. There. This is how the 6Z is looking. This is the very latest. Again, great big dartboard low right over top of the country on Wednesday. Going to be pretty stormy middle part of the week. And we keep this unsettled weather going into the end of the week. These areas of low pressure coming up against the Scandinavian high, being blocked and sort of slipping southwards. Heading up towards day 10. Doesn't quite build the pressures over Scandinavia and Western Russia as much with the 6Z as the midnight run did. You see the same idea really. There's a big high pressure lurking up there to the northeast. We are ridging the Azores high towards it, and we actually keep relatively mild and unsettled up towards day 10. In the extended range, again, the 6Z, very similar to the midnight run, building up that large area of high pressure, trying to ridge it to the Siberian high. By the way, the central pressure of that Siberian high up here, and this is like the Siberian high as well, by the way, central pressure of that looks to be around 1060 millibars. Very, 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 very high pressure over Russia there, which is really interesting to be seeing that in December on our side of the pole, you know. So that's very interesting. But anyway, we're under high pressure, mainly dry, frost and fog, that kind of thing, probably, especially further south there on the 19th of December. And then the same idea right at the very end of the GFS run. It's starting to try and get the high pressure up towards Greenland and, you know, perhaps hints at trying to pull down some sort of northerly as well. These are really interesting charts, I have to say, that the GFS is conjuring up today. Not particularly interesting in terms of weather, but synoptically, you know, quite interesting signals. Moving on to the GM. If you're enjoying the video, please smash the like button. Make sure to sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment down so about this at all of our videos. Thank you so much. GM, I'm going to put on around 25 to 30 subscribers, by the way, to get to 12.8k. So we are very close to 12.8k now. Please give us a sub. And thank you so much. Right, GM, low pressure is right over top of the country. Dartboard low, midnight on Wednesday, going to be really stormy. Into the end of next week, again, more low pressure rolling in from off Atlantic. Nowhere near as much influence from the Scandinavian high with the GM as the GFS output is showing, though. By the very end of it, generally quite mild with the GM today, bringing wind from the southwest, trying to build pressure from the southwest. So I suspect that's going to go in the same direction as the GFS output and try to get high pressure going just beyond mid-month. Then the ECM, it looks like that. Again, big areas of low pressure right up to the country, middle part of the week. Very stormy conditions. We keep it unsettled into next weekend. We have got Scandinavian height. Again, not raising the height so as much over Scandinavia into West Russia as the GFS is doing. And we just keep these areas of low pressure coming in from the Atlantic, really, with the ECM. Although we have got quite a big high there sitting across Western Russia by day 10. It's not, you know, not up to 1060 millibars. It's up to 1035 millibars, which is still relatively high pressure, to be honest. So, look northeast, I think, particularly, as we said in our winter forecast, into January. Right, this is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. So we've got sort of rain, a little bit of windiness in the east today. It's quite a cold, dank day. Then we bring a band of rain with snow in the north across the country through tonight and tomorrow. Then this really stormy weather around Tuesday into Wednesday. That brings lots of heavy rain. Could be significant snow with that across Scotland and high ground into northern England. Blizzards over mountains of Scotland around the middle part of the week. And then lots of heavy showers packing in behind that. Moving up toward day 10, just regular bouts of rain, some of them with winteriness in the north as well. You know, as we get to day 10, still unsettled. That is the 15th of December. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 15th of December. 18 members of the ECM ensembles have lots of low pressure to our north and bringing in a flat westerly wind with high pressure to the south. 16 will have high pressure ridging to our south and east, low pressure away to the northwest. That's going to be quite mild, bringing wind up from the southwest. But does that high pressure connect back to the Siberian high? I wonder. Then we've got 9 with high pressure over Scandinavia and low pressure coming up against it. So that's going to be very unsettled, of course. And then we've got 8 building up higher pressure from the south. That's going to be drier and will be quite mild. Most of the options for the middle of December looking very unsettled there. We'll see in 2 weeks' time. These are the options that we've got. And this is going to get us to the 18th, no, not going to get us to the 20th of December. 18 members of the ECM ensembles then have this area of high pressure to our east and bringing in an easterly wind. That's like a Scandinavian type high, really. With an easterly wind, so obviously that would be quite cold, and we're running up towards Christmas at this point. 15 milder with low pressure to the northwest, high pressure to the south, bringing the wind from the southwest. 10, kind of in line with the GFS operationals, midnight and 6 there, with high pressure centred right over top of the country. Could be frost and fog. Then 8 down here have the high pressure properly over Scandinavia. This is the coldest option. This is a proper Scandinavian high and a proper easterly as well. And with this low over France, we're probably bringing in snow to more southern and eastern areas on those easterly winds. It's a minority option, the 8 that we have there. But of course, the 18 here are not all that far from that. So if you put the 18 there together with the 8 there, probably the ECM ensembles are kind of favouring a Scandinavian high type feature in 2 weeks' time, actually. Lastly, CFS V2, so these are 500 millibar heights broken down in 2 week pairs. The first week pair will take us from the 5th through to the 11th of December. The coming week will have below average heights, low pressure coming in from the Atlantic, and jet streams on northwest southeast alignment, so looking unsettled and quite cold. Week 2 will be the 12th to the 18th of December with high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north. That's milder and probably drier for the south, but still quite unsettled up in the north. And then we go through to week 3, which is running to Christmas. This is the 19th, 25th of December. High pressure then set over top of the country. So technically it's a mild high, but of course, because it's middle of winter, if the skies are clear, then it will get very quickly cold with overnight frost and maybe fog and that sort of thing. And then week 4 will be like Christmas to New Year week. It's 26th of December, Boxing Day to New Year's Day, basically. And we take the high pressure a little bit to the northwest. And perhaps think that we're starting to bring in a little bit of an easterly, northeasterly around that high. Still not desperately cold at that point, but if high pressure was to go any further northwest, then we would really start to tap into those northeasterlies. As it is, mainly dry and cold between Christmas and New Year with overnight frost. Maybe the hint of a little bit of a wintry shower, maybe, towards the eastern coastal counties. I wonder. Right, so that's it then. That's it for day 10 to 14 day. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. That's amazing. That's incredible. Thank you so much for doing that. And drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everyone. I say around 25 subscribers now. Until 12.8k. So we're very, very close to 12.8k. Please give us a sub, tell friends, family to subscribe as well, and help get us to 12.8k. Ultimate target is 13,000 subscribers when we're going to give it away an Amazon voucher, and it would be lovely if we could do that before Christmas. It'll probably be in January. But we'll see. Right, okay, so that's it for all of the uploads for today. We will be back, however, at 6 o'clock with our Sunday evening live stream. So we'll have a look at the 12s there. We'll have a chat about the winter forecast, of course. And we'll have a look at a few ensembles as well. Maybe do like a mini ensembles watch. And then from next Sunday onwards, we will bring back ensembles watch every week. On a Sunday, ensembles watch live every week from next week. Right, so that's it for today's video. Oh, Oh, just so it's coming tomorrow, 7 a.m. broadcast, 10 to 14 day, and I will have to get the GavsWeatherVids December forecast, and I'm very late with that this year, but the December forecast as well coming up for you tomorrow. Right, so see you very shortly or a little bit later for our live stream, but for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.